guys, it's Miranda. Today I'm going to be discussing my kind of book summary / review of The Courage to be Disliked. This was written by Ichiro, Kishimi, and Fumitake Koga. It is a phenomenal book and I definitely recommend it. It really dives into some of the core principles of Adlerian psychology or individual psychology, as proposed by Alfred Adler. So it's a really easy read. It's basically a lot of dialogue between a young man who's trying to dismantle a philosopher's argument. So it's an easy read and I definitely recommend it for anyone who is looking to listen or read to an insightful book. So the beginning of the book, it says that the philosopher had this idea that the world is simple and life is too. And so this young man sets out on a journey to go kind of break this argument down. And so that's kind of the basis of the beginning. But I'm just going to talk about some of the core principles that I took, the key takeaways that I had for this book. So the first one is the separation of tasks. So you are only responsible for your own life. Other people's opinions, reactions, or emotions are simply not your task. You can't control those things, and there's no need to put energy and effort into trying to do so. It's just not your task. So you should focus on your own opinions, reactions, and emotions, and how to fulfill your own life and set meaning to your own life. But we really shouldn't worry about the same from others. The second idea is that the past does not determine you. We can assign meaning to our past and allow that to prevent us from changing our future, but at the end of the day, that's just an excuse. So we're not defined by past traumas. We give our experiences meaning based on the goals that we set in the present. Of course, we don't have to set impossible goals, but you can always make a goal in the now moment to better yourself now, and it will in turn follow you in the now moments of the future. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. So human suffering stems from how we relate to others. For example, fear of rejection, the need to be liked, comparison. It gets much deeper than this, but these are just some examples. So the next idea is feelings of inferiority versus an inferiority complex, which can actually lead to a superiority complex. So feeling less that can motivate growth, but an inferiority complex becomes an excuse to avoid effort or change. And this can lead to a superiority complex due to the efforts of trying to evade those feelings of inferiority rather than making goals to change. So it also makes note that worth is innate. It doesn't come from where you're at in a timeline. Rather, people are walking forward in front of you and people are walking forward behind you. You're walking forward where you are. So we shouldn't really compare ourselves to others because we're all on our own journey and our worth is innate because of the fact that we exist. The goal of life is contribution to others. So true self-worth comes not from approval, but from feeling useful within the community or the greater good. So what I thought was interesting here is that Community, when Adler refers to it, actually refers to the universe and everything that exists. So we have such a finite way of looking at community. We look at like our job, our circle of friends, things like that as your community. And if we were left out of them suddenly, we would feel as if we have none. But we're actually a member of the planet Earth. We are a member of the universe. So this is the community, and the greater good can apply to any of that. And our existence here on this plane is simply miraculous. So we really just need to be grateful for our selves and others within the community and figure out what we can do to contribute to that. So the next one is my personal favorite. Freedom is the courage to be disliked. Living authentically means accepting that not everyone will like or understand you, and that's okay. So that's been a big one for me. I have a hard time feeling like I don't get support from the majority of the public on many of my thoughts, ideas, or endeavors. But that is okay, and it's something that I can work on accepting, and I can make goals to treat everyone as comrades and contribute to them anyways, and contribute to the greater good. But freedom comes from the courage to be disliked. So I really like that one. The next one is you can change right now. Your personality is not fixed. Change happens when you decide to take responsibility and act differently. That's pretty straightforward. We get pretty stuck in our ways. We feel our ego creeping in and saying that we can't make change. But again, that's an excuse that we're creating because we can always set goals in the now and start applying the things that we need to apply in order to make the changes that we would like to see. Again, life only has the meaning that you assign to it. So assign whatever meaning you want and create goals to contribute to that meaning and to the greater good. The next one is happiness comes from feeling useful rather than chasing pleasure or praise. Seek meaning by being of service, which fosters real contentment. And that goes back to the contribution thing. So we've talked about that quite a bit, so I'll move on. The next one is live in the present, but not for recognition. Let go of living to impress. Instead, focus on being fully present and honest in how you show up. So, again, pretty straightforward. I like that idea, but we'll move on. So the next one and last one that I have here, for the most part, I have one more little mention, but this one says to use encouragement rather than praise or rebuke. Adlerian psychology emphasizes encouragement, building self-reliance, not praise, which actually creates dependence. This kind of gets on the subject of vertical and horizontal relationships. So when we look at things as hierarchical, we see people in a vertical way. They might be above or below us in the category of worth, but really we should have horizontal relationships where everyone is equal. That doesn't mean you shouldn't respect your elders, your boss or something like that, but it means that you have equality in mind when you view people's worth, and so that's horizontal. So again, when you praise or rebuke someone, you're putting yourself as higher than them, and so you're not building a horizontal relationship right there. Even when you talk to a child, you should offer them encouragement so that you can build that self-reliance. and build that horizontal relationship with that human being who has equal worth in you, regardless of their age. So the last thing that I will mention is that life is a series of moments called now, and that life is a dance. So I have on the slide, embrace each beautiful now, which I think is really important because that is how we kind of ground ourselves in the present, make those goals, and move forward to find the meaning that we want to assign to our lives and really feel content and fulfilled in doing so. So, thanks.